Said, by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for Transformers Devastation on the PS4. Just look at the graphics, the sound effects, just everything's the way they look, like Optimus Prime, the way he looks is just perfect to Generation 1 Transformers. When I first started playing it, I thought, like when I first seen the videos about it on YouTube, I thought, oh no, it's cell shaded kind of, like a cartoony kind of look, and I wasn't like I didn't like it. I thought I wish they had made it a bit more realistic, like darker, kind of Transformers. But after playing it, once I got the game and I played it for a bit, I think it suits this style of animation and design. Uh, for the kind of game it is, because it's just total button bashing. It's just a beat 'em up game. There's no, it's not a big in-depth kind of game. But I suppose for the purpose of what it is, it does its job. It's pure combos to death. You can just, like, the amount of different combinations between square and triangle is great. So there's lots of moves, lots of different animations when you're getting stuck into people and that, so it looks a lot better. Like I say, look at it, it looks cartoony. The sound effects are really good. The transformation sound effect and the voices are all the real actors and just everything. If you're a fan of Transformers, you'll love it. And like these bits, you see how you've got the wind coming down towards you. Well, like, they're too powerful to walk against, so you have to be in vehicle form in order to travel up those parts. And also, just say that's where you double jump and then you do a smash. You double jump and then you transform. But I hadn't sussed it. There you go, and that opens up stuff. Sometimes you'll open up access to go to the Ark, which you'll see at the end, which is the name of the spaceship. But it's like your HQ. You can customize your weapons. You can like customize the layout for every character. Plus, you can change what character you want to be. So it's good. I like it. It's like a little like save point halfway through most levels. This kind of thing where you're just running around. I mean, this is the very, very beginning. Literally the very first time. So I was still getting used to the buttons. But since I've learned that when you're in vehicle form, and unfortunately, like, all the controls for while you're driving are in one, in your left stick. So to accelerate and to steer, it's all through your left stick, so you've got to push forward or pull back to stop and go, and then your left and right obviously is to steer. So when you're traveling, the camera stays still. It doesn't like follow the front of the car. So I've found it's a lot easier if you steer with both sticks at the same time. So steer with your right stick as you're driving around, because then the camera will follow wherever direction you're pointing. So you get a chance to see where you're going, because a lot of the time you'll be driving around, and unless you follow with your camera, then you're just looking at the side of them, or you're looking at the front of your character, and you don't know where you're going, and you're just smashing into the graphics, and it's just shit. It takes it out of it. If they had some sort of tracker on the camera as you're driving around, it would have made it better. But just using that simple technique, it overcomes it. So you just steer with both sticks, and it follows you as you're driving. I didn't suss that until later, like, because this is the first time I was playing. But Grimlock, you see Grimlock there, he's a Dinobot, and he's a playable character later. You get Sideswipe, you get Wheeljack, you get Bumblebee and Optimus. So you only get a few characters, but it's still good enough. I mean, you enjoy the characters you do get. Those cars, like the buttons, you've got squares, your light attack, triangles, your heavy attack, circle is to pick stuff up or to search, so it's like your action button, X is to jump, L1 is your special meter at the top if you look at the top, how L1 is the yellow thin bar, the one at the top is your health, and that like circle is your special move. So when it's full, like mine is now, you press L1 and R1, L3 and R3 together. When you press them together, it unleashes like a special attack, and every character's is different. Also, everyone's L1 button is different as well, so it's like a dash or some sort of like attack. I think Optimus does like a massive burnout with his trailer on. Like his trailer just appears and he does a massive circle and it like takes that energy. But I so like to see how they've all got animations when you leave them, and they've all got animations that they do, which is good. Like see all the voices are the original ones, so there is like nice little touches that if you're a Star Wars, I've got fucking Star Wars on the brain. If you're a Transformers fan, that you'll absolutely love it. Graphics, that's up to you if you can get past it being cartoony. But if you're a fan of this generation of Transformers anyway, then this is exactly how you'll remember it. So I think it's good. Like I say, I was humming and hawing when I first seen it, but you know, now I've had a chance to play it, I quite like it. I really like it. It reminds us of like some Turtles games and stuff that's been out on the arcade. Just the way it is, how bright and colourful it is, and the animation and stuff. But I like it. Like I say, there's lots of good old characters on it, like Soundwave and that look class. They just look exactly like they do. Megatron, he looks perfect. But this is just, like I say, it's a button bashing game, which I hadn't thought about at the time. Like while I was making this footage, I hadn't really sussed it. But if you look in the bottom left corner, you've got the mini map, and you're supposed to follow the head towards the yellow dot. But I didn't know what I was doing. I was just, you know, I'm not looking at the map, so I wasn't really playing it properly here. But that's all you do. You just keep an eye on your map, and it tells you where to go if you ever get lost, because all the streets do look the same. Then you see how you press R1 at the very last second, and you dodge. That comes in. It's a vital part of your fighting. But you see the different combos. See how many times I got the combos in there, because Bumblebee's a fast fighter. All the other Autobots like take a while to do the fighting, so most enemies have time to like recover by the time you've done another vehicle attack, and Bumblebee does 2 vehicle attacks, which I like. What else is there? Just trying to think of some of the other things that I've sussed. Like I said, there's lots of characters from like enemies as well. I mean, you do get sick of fighting just the general waves of bots that like come in and just the fodder that you've got to destroy. It does get a bit tiresome, but that's only because it's a button bashing game. It's just a beat 'em up. Like here, I hadn't really sussed that you can't walk against them. I didn't know what it was. See, I pushed us back there. So I'm trying to shoot it there. But he says it's that one's like a turbo wind tunnel thing. So there's like these portals that just look like circles and they're hovering in the sky. And if you drive through them, like in a vehicle, if you're a vehicle form and you drive through it, it's like a turbo. That's the only way to get past them. These bridges, they've got like built-in boosters, so as long as you're in vehicle mode and you hit that, see how it boosts, and it'll help you make over the gap. Even if you have no run-up whatsoever, it'll still help you get over the gap, which I quite like, because those gaps are quite big, some of them. Here's the cutscenes. See, it's just like watching the cartoon, and then the gameplay is like this, so you feel like you're playing the cartoons. I just love the way it looks. I love the sound, the voices, just everything. I hope they bring out more games like this. This is what the film should have been like. You know, Michael Bay totally fucked Transformers, but if they had made it like this, imagine Optimus Prime looked like that in the Michael Bay films, it would have been amazing. But they all look the same. You know what I mean? Transformers, Michael Bay versions are shit, and he's making another one. He's making Transformers 5, I think, or 6. I don't know which one it's up to now. See the shield. with those purple shields, you can't like get stuck into them. You have to do what that video's just shown you, and you have to be in vehicle mode, and you have to travel enough until you've got flames coming out your exhaust. That means you're at top speed. Then you press either square as a punch, it's like an uppercut, or triangles, normally like a drop kick, so you can smash through the shield and get your attacks in. But it's just teaching you this at the moment because a lot of people that you fight will turn up and they'll have shields. Like there'll be about 5 or 6 people you have to fight, and they'll all have shields. So you have to spend, it's like tactics. It's the same as all punching beat 'em up games. That you've got to remember how to defeat each enemy. Each enemy takes a certain way to die, or a certain move, or a certain combo. So you just got to remember what's what. But it's the same in everything, that really. And this is when I'm in the Ark. And this is when you synthesize your weapons, and you can take like a level 1 weapon, like Bumblebee blasters. You see how they're on level 2 there, and then you combine Bumblebee's blasters with another level 1 or whatever it is you've collected. Obviously you pick them up as you go along all the time, so you can sacrifice all these level 1 stuff and just mix them with something that you want to keep, and you can just upgrade them all the time, which is great. And plus here, like, you've got the layout, the loadout. You can customize all that, so it is quite customizable. Even though it is just punching and kicking, you can customize the way you want to play. I mean, there's ranged weapons and there's melee weapons, so it's not like you can only have one melee weapon. Every single option on your directional pad could be melee weapons if that's the way you want to fight. So I do like that, because I had only sussed this at a later date. Like, as I was playing it after a couple of hours, then I realised you could synthesize your weapons and shit like that. And I had collected loads, obviously, because I didn't know you were meant to use them. So I got quite far with just the basic stuff. So obviously, it just goes on how many hit points each weapon takes off. You can look at the stats there. The total attack power is 91. So if you've got basic weapons, they're probably only on 50. It just means you're going to be hitting the enemies more. You're going to have to do more combos in order to defeat them. That's all it means. So it does get easier the more you upgrade your weapons. You take off more damage. But that's about as much as it gets complicated. Like, that's about as in depth as it is. Apart from that, it's just punching and kicking, collecting stuff, going from point A to point B. But, if you can look past that, or if you don't mind that, then this is a really good game, I think. Especially if you're a Transformers Generation 1 fan, that's vital. If you're just a Transformers fan in general, and you've never really got into the early cartoons, and you only know the Michael Bay shit, then you might not like this. But I'm in my 30s, so I remember Transformers back in the day. So this is perfect for me. I absolutely love it. So, I don't know, I just summarise, the graphics are good, the sound's really good. It's not that in-depth. It is customizable, but it's not, like Skyrim or all like that, so you don't get excited there. But the combinations are good, the punching and the kicking's really good. So it's just a nice, fun game. I think I got it for 13 quid off eBay. So if you can just shop around, you'll probably find a really cheap copy of it. And it's just fun to put on and just have a good half an hour play. Obviously, don't play it if you've got epilepsy or something like, because it's a proper epileptic fit game. But apart from that, it's really good. So if you like it, go out and buy it. I think it's really good. So I'm going to give it like a 10 out of 10. So that's it, really. I'll just let you watch the last 20 seconds of this footage. That's it. See you later.